Okay, so today we'll be solving LeetCode daily question 341, which is flatten nested list iterator. And in this, we'll have to construct the iterator, and we'll be given a nested integer list of nested integer. Okay, so what basically a nested integer means that it can okay, let me write that uh, yeah, nested integer could be either an integer or uh, a list of integers, let's say 1, 9, 8, or it could also be, let's say, a list of integers, let's say 1, 8, then let's say I'm having a list 9, 8, and then here it's 3, then further I'm having in the list, so it can also be considered as a list of lists. Let's say here I'm having this, and then 8, and then here this could also be a possibility. So we'll be given a list like this, and what we basically have to do, if we are given something like for this test case, we just have to print return 1, 9, and 8. Okay, and similarly if we go for this, we just have to print all the numbers in the sequence they're coming, like 1, then 8, then 9, then 8, then 3, sorry, 3, then 91, then 3, then 6, and then 8. This is what we have to return. Okay, we have to basically return array list of numbers. So we have to design an iterator for this, and basically the iterator will be having two two functions. In this one function that will be returning integer. That means, like, uh, if let's say we are at this index, so what we have to do, we the two functions are that if that has next, it means in the array list next element is present, and then if we call the next function, we have to return that particular element. For example, firstly we'll check that if one has next, and this will come out to be true, and then what we'll do, we'll print next, that is 8. Similarly, what we'll do, check for this, and at this point we'll check for the has next will be returning as false, and so what we'll be doing, false. So what we'll be doing, we'll be just not going with the next function. Okay, so this is what we have to do. Let's have a look at the test cases. In this, we are given a list of 1, 1, then we are given an integer 2, then we are given 1 again 1, 1. So we just have to print this by flattening this. In this, we are given a list. In this, first we are having an integer, then we are again having a list, then we are having 4, then again a list, and then 6. We just have to print 1, 4, 6. Okay, we don't have to print, we just have to store them in the array list. Okay, so now let's we can, okay, let me have a new whiteboard first. Yeah, so this is not a very hard level question, and there is nothing too much to think about it. We can use a stack or recursion also to solve this. So what we'll be doing, we'll be creating a function, or we can also do it in the constructor only of this class. So okay, I'll guess we should declare a function, and we should not change what is given us. Okay, so let's have a function, and here we'll be passing a list of nested integers, and let's call it nested. Okay, nested, and in this we'll be running a for loop, and for we'll not be running a will not be using a simple for loop, we'll be using a for each loop. So what we'll be doing, we'll be using a object of nested integer class. Let's call it ni and int. Okay, let's call it nested int. Okay, nested int. Okay, in nested list. Okay, so we'll be checking that if nested int dot is integer. Firstly, we'll be checking this. Okay, that if it is integer, what we'll be doing, we'll be adding it. Okay, let's also declare a list, and that list will be global in scope. Let's declare a list of integer. Let's call it answer. Okay. So what we'll be doing, we'll be just doing answer dot add nested int dot get integer. If you are using some other language, the function might be different, but this is what you have to do. Okay, so nested int dot get integer. Okay, this will return the integer value, because as the list is of type integer, so we have to add the nested integer as integer only. Okay, else what we'll be doing, we'll be just simply calling the solve function again recursively with nested dot get list. Okay, this function will be returning us the list. This is the code for Java. And okay, in the next function, what we have to do, we'll be having no parameters in this. We'll just be returning answer dot get. Okay, let's declare a variable index also, and we'll be initializing it with 0. Again, this will be in global scope only, index equal to 0. And what we'll be doing, simply index plus plus. And for the has next function, what we'll be doing, we'll be just simply returning that index should be less than answer size. Okay, so this is how we'll be writing all the functions. Okay, just a request that please, if you are using some other language, please check the syntax for these functions like get integer, is integer, and get list. Okay, so this is how you will approach the question. So now let's code it. Let's declare a uh, private list of integer. Let's call it answer equal to new array list. Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll be declaring a private integer index, which will be initialized with 0. Okay, and then what we'll be doing, let's do it here only. For nested integer nested integer, yeah, let's call it nested int in nested list. So what we'll be doing, we'll be checking that if nested int dot is integer, what we'll be doing, we'll be just simply adding answer dot add nested. Okay, let me just zoom in. Okay, yeah, this nested dot get nested int dot get integer. Okay, this will be returning us with the integer value of that. Otherwise, what we'll be doing, we'll be calling nested iterator function again. Solve okay, nested iterator, and here what we'll be doing, we'll be doing nested int dot get list. Okay, so after this, are all the values will be added to the list in a answer list in a flattened manner. Okay, so for this, we'll just be doing a return ans dot get, and here we'll be incrementing index. Okay, index plus plus. Then dot has, for this we'll be just returning index should be less than answer dot size. Okay, now let's run this. Cannot find simple nested iterator. Okay, so I guess yes, we'll be needing to use. Okay, if I do this, I don't think so that this should work. Okay, so what, let's cut this off and let's have another function. Let's call it solve, and there will be passing the nested list. Okay, so let's declare another method. Let's have it private void solve, and here will be passing list of nested integer as nested list. Okay, then what we'll do, we will just simply paste the code, and here what we'll be calling solve function. Okay. Okay, so now let's run it. Yeah, and it gets accepted. So now let's submit it. Yeah, and it gets submitted. Yeah, so this was it for today. Okay, just one more tip. You can also use stack instead of recursion if you don't want that. But this code works fine as it beats 100%. So there's not much issue with using recursion also. So yeah, this was it for today. Thank you for watching.